I'm going to grant your request. I am so familiar with Hebrews chapter 4, so here it is without cherry picking. Verse 1, we were warned that the promise of entering his rest is still open, and we should fear lest any of us fall short of it. Verse 2, the gospel was preached to them, Israel, just like to us. The issue wasn't the Sabbath, it was unbelief. Verses 3 to 5, God ties his rest directly to creation. His works were finished from the foundation of the world, and God rested on the seventh day. The writer is intentionally linking God's rest with the seventh day Sabbath rest. Verses 6 and 7, because Israel failed to enter that rest, God set another time, today, meaning the opportunity to enter God's Sabbath rest is still available. Verse 8, if Joshua had given them full rest, God wouldn't speak of another day later on. In other words, the promised rest was not fulfilled in the Old Testament. Verse 9, here's the key verse. Everyone avoids it. There remains, therefore, a Sabbath rest for the people of God. The Greek word here is sabbatismos, literally a Sabbath keeping, not rest, not peace, not relaxation, a Sabbath observance. Verse 10, we enter God's rest by ceasing from our works as God did from his. How did God cease from his works? On the seventh day, Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. That comparison is intentional. Verse 11, we are told to be diligent to enter that rest, meaning it's not symbolic and it's not optional. Verse 12 and onward, the word of God judges our obedience. The whole chapter is a warning not to fall into the same unbelief Israel did. So here's the summary of the whole chapter. The promise of entering God's rest is still open. Verse 1. That rest is tied to God's rest at creation. Verse 4. Israel didn't enter because of unbelief. Verse 6. God leaves the door open for us today. Verse 7. Joshua didn't fulfill that promise. Verse 8. A Sabbath keeping still remains for God's people. Verse 9. We enter that rest by ceasing from our own works as God did from his on the seventh day. Verse 10. And we must be diligent, not careless about entering. Verse 11. When you read the entire chapter, not just verse 3, it doesn't remove the Sabbath, it affirms it, it deepens it, and shows it still remains for God's people today.